Air is your barnyard, baby. Call us now at 556-9696.
So much happening, and we'll continue to take your phone calls, but also let's welcome a guest we've had on this program several times before, and he ran a great race out in California, challenging someone who I believe to be one of the problems in D.C., and that is Maxine Waters. Joe Collins III is with us, and Joe, welcome back to the program, sir. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Very good, sir. Merry Christmas to you. And Joe, give our listeners here in the New Orleans area and throughout the Gulf South a little bit of an update. How is life in California today? We're hearing some really scary things.
By comparison, life here in California is not that good, but it could be worse. We could be in Fallujah during a wartime. But, with all our businesses shutting down, with the dictators that we have here in California, Democrats are finally waking up to what the conservatives have been saying all of this time, and is that Gavin Newsom is a mess, Nancy Pelosi is no good, Maxine Waters is no good, but this is what we've been facing for a very long time.
And you brought the message out there about Maxine Waters and how she was a millionaire, had a mansion, didn't even live in the district, hadn't been representing the people there in her district for years and years and years. And also, she's been there decades. And one of the themes of our show today, Joe, has been, boy, we need congressional term limits. And I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree that we need term limits. If anybody stays in a position for too long, they become highly delved in corruption, and that's what we have right now. And I've said it before, I trust gas station sushi more than I trust the Democrats in California, nonetheless the Democrats across the United States. But yes, term limits are definitely needed.
If you would have been in Congress when this bill, this COVID relief stimulus / spending bill reach your desk, how would you have voted on that, Joe?
I wouldn't have voted on anything that I can't read. And 5,500 plus pages, I definitely wouldn't have been able to vote on that bill. I probably would have made a lot of people mad. I'm not the nice guy. I am a U.S. Navy veteran, so I probably would have had something to say with a lot of curse words. People would have thoroughly understood exactly what I said and the sentiment that I said it in. But I'm not, politically correct like politicians. And I think now that it's a real good time to keep it real with the American people and let them know that these politicians have been lying to us for a very long time, Democrats and Republicans.
One sort of positive thing I've seen about California is that this recall effort has gotten momentum to go after Gavin Newsom, and it's gathering steam. Can you tell us about that? Have you signed it, by the way?
Yes, I did sign the recall Gavin Newsom petition, and it is gaining a lot of steam, and I think it's a good thing. One thing that I am concerned about is who's going to be up running for governor next. We need somebody who is a real leader, true leader, one that can sit both sides to the table and create some type of resolution that's going to be positive for the people in California. And I think after this holidays, I'm probably going to jump on and support the recall Gavin Newsom and start having recall events across California as well. So
maybe you could run for Governor, Joe.
You know what? We'll see what happens. I really want to support someone who has already been sitting in the seat, probably one of the mayors of another city, possibly depending on their record. But it'll be a long.
I haven't seen too many leaders out in California that have been much. I mean, you've got some bad leaders out there.
True. When we get on board the recall Gavin Newsom effort, we'll see what happens. If the climate is right, then we'll definitely jump in that race if we have to. But if not, we've done a lot of great work in the 43rd district, and that's where I look to stay.
Joe Collins is with us, congressional candidate, took on Maxine Waters, fighting the good fight for conservatism out there in California. And California is a disaster zone as far as the economy. And Joe, people are leaving there in droves. We're hearing that California may lose a congressional seat because of all the people leaving the state.
As long as it's a Democrat congressional seat, then I don't mind them losing a congressional seat. But our leaders, they've done a terrible job, even with the coronavirus, with the lockdowns, and the amount of misinformation and piss poor leadership they've been giving us for a very long time. And I think people are tired of it. They're tired of the high taxes. They're tired of jobs leaving. They're tired of the homeless population getting out of control. And people are wanting new leadership. My biggest fear is people leaving California and taking the same principles that they've been voting with to cause California to get into the situation that we're in over to new states and cause those same states to fail also. That's my biggest fear right now.
Joe Collins with us, Jeff Crouere here. I was just in Austin, Joe, and I saw all these people coming from California. And on the one hand, I'm happy for Texas are getting new jobs and new headquarters. On the other hand, I'm worried that they could be bringing their California values with them to Texas.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we don't want to happen. Change is always needed, whether you change it from one location to another, but change whenever it comes to voting, whenever it comes to your outlook on life, has to be manifested with the change in life as well. So hopefully, California don't turn blue, it doesn't turn purple. We need the majority of our states to be red. Well, one thing we really need is balance, and that's what we don't have right now. And, AOC, I don't like her at all, but she said one of the smartest things I've ever heard her say yesterday. And she said, how could anybody read a 5,000-page bill that got to our desk 2 hours before we have to vote on it? It's the only smart thing I've ever heard her say, and I have to agree with that.
Yeah. I agree with her on that, but even among squad members, there's some bickering going on as far as the coronavirus vaccine. I don't know if you saw AOC receive the vaccine. She's 31 years old. Joe, I know you're younger. We've got elderly people that are in harm's way, elderly people that are most at risk. They haven't received the vaccine, yet someone like AOC and other members of Congress, other politicians are getting it. I think that's wrong. I think the ones most at risk should get it first. Your thoughts?
Well, I am a little older than AOC, maybe about 4 years, but I will say this. When it comes to these vaccines, we don't know the side effects that it's going to have. So I think every single politician who did vote on this vaccine, they should absolutely get the vaccine before anybody. I mean, we still have to remember the recovery rate for everybody under 65 years old is 99.95%. Everybody over 65, the recovery rate is about 95%. But people want to push this vaccine. It hasn't finished trials. Every single animal has been tested on, has died. And so I think that our Congress should be the guinea pigs for this Pfizer vaccine. So absolutely, I agree. Take the vaccine. Ilhan Omar was complaining about how her father died from coronavirus because of criminal negligence. You know what? Take the vaccine. Let's see what happens. So, yeah, I agree.
So would you take it, Joe, if you were in Congress and they said, hey, you can take it if you want? Or would you say, no, I'm worried about side effects, I'm not going to take it?
You know what? Even if it didn't have side effects, I still wouldn't take it. I'm not pro-vaccination. I am pro-healthy lifestyle. I think instead of forcing vaccinations down the throats of every single American citizen, I think we need to be talking about ways that we can promote good health. Stop drinking, stop smoking, exercise on a regular basis. Make sure your mental mind is taken care of. Make sure we do relaxing, rest and relaxation on a regular basis. Things like that. We have an immune system, which is why I'm not big on vaccinations, but we need to be preaching healthy lifestyles. The vaccination industry, Big Pharma, has hundreds of billions of dollars from the federal government already. Now I think that it's time for organic foods to start getting money, fitness trainers start getting money from the government, people who promote healthy lifestyles.
Speaking of getting money, in this last stimulus bill, the Kennedy Center got $14 million. That means they've gotten, in various stimulus bills, $40.4 million. Yet the American people were going to get $600 each. Seems like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And this bill is all about protecting the special interests and protecting those with power. Why is all this other stuff in this bill? I thought this was about COVID relief.
We know any time that they pass a bill during a pandemic, it has nothing to do with the pandemic and nothing to do with Senate relief to the people. I mean, and I hate to say this, but, Americans get what they voted for. And a lot of times you voted for these people to continue to remain in office, knowing that this is what they do every single time. We have a pandemic, whether it's a plandemic or whatever the case may be. But I think this is an awakening for people. You know what? Let's try something new. Let's get out of our comfort zone and vote for the same people over and over and over again and vote for something new. And I'm going to tell you, Jeff, I'm still sick. Like, just thinking about this bill, I think everybody who wrote this bill and voted on this bill need to take a piece of this bill, and they just need to shove it, because this is not putting American people first.
Joe Collins with us here for a few more minutes. Joe, we've been talking here in this program maybe about organizing a group to go up to Washington for this protest on January 6th. President asking people to go up there, express their displeasure with this election and the fraud that occurred. Let me get your thoughts on the election and the fraud that's been exposed, and whether you think something can be done to overturn this result and make sure President Trump serves another term.
You know, we will be in Washington, my team and I, and, you know, we support Women for America First. If you have an organization that will be up there, we'll support you and your organization as well. I'm just waiting to see what happens after they try and certify the election results. I know the president has that executive order that he passed in September 12th of 2018, which talks about, you know, foreign interference in our elections. And I think that means that because these voting machines are partially owned by, you know, foreign companies, that some heads are probably going to roll, and it's not going to be nice. But, you know, we're going to pray for the president. We hope he stands strong and do what needs to be done, because the American people are counting on him.
So you're going to be there January 6th, right?
Yes, we will be there.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, we'll be visiting again very soon. Thanks so much for your time this morning. That's Joe Collins III, candidate for Congress in California, leading really a conservative movement out there. And I think possibly he's got all kinds of potential, and I'd love to see him run for governor in California. We've got to first get rid of Gavin Newsom. 504-55